Here with me now is Joel Rubin, president of the Washington Strategy Group and a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State. Joel, thanks for being here.
Great to be with you, Derek.
Well, we know North Korea state media controls the flow of news there, so today's acknowledgement that the summit in Vietnam ended early is news to us, old news to us, but brand new to North Korea, right?
It certainly is, and that just shows the kind of regime that we're dealing with North Korea, which is it's an authoritarian regime. It's a bit of a 1984 kind of scenario there where the people are locked out of the rest of the world. And so they don't quite know how to explain it clearly to their population that things are going backwards rather than forwards with the United States after having had some progress with the president. And unfortunately, there really is no good direction right now on these North Korea talks.
The president seems to be focusing on testing from the north, saying, I don't want to see any more testing. I hope there's no more testing. Is that him being diplomatic, or is that more of a threat?
Well, it sounds like that seems to be what Donald Trump actually believes matters, which is if North Korea doesn't show any kind of aggression, then it's okay, then all is good. And he declared after the first summit that there was no testing, therefore there was no more nuclear threat from North Korea.
Sure.
And what we saw in the interim between the two summits was that North Korea was developing its nuclear program further. So testing or not, the threat is still there. And I think the president doesn't want the inconvenience of there being a physical showing of the North Korea program. And that's really where he's focused, unfortunately.
Right. Joel, I want to get your take on what's happening in Venezuela. The continuing crisis there, massive electrical blackout is added to the suffering and has given disputed President Nicolas Maduro and opposition leader Juan Guaido something else to disagree on. Take a listen.
Moreover, I am worried for the people who have difficulties to go back home, for the food that begins to rot, for the patients who are hospitalized, for whom we are very concerned because of the lack of electrical power.
So, Joel, the situation there is just getting worse.
Yeah, it's a horrible humanitarian catastrophe in Venezuela. It's been ongoing now for several years with a massive refugee flow out of the country to other countries in the region. And this electrical grid collapse essentially is devastating for hospitals and for the quality of life in Caracas. And it goes to show you there is no immediate near-term solution. The White House, the administration, has done a good job at maintaining its support with allies to keep the pressure on Maduro. And Maduro may attempt and is trying to attempt to blame the United States for this electrical outage. And that's not going to fly. And Guaido certainly is not going to allow his government, that is in Venezuela, to get away with that kind of an explanation.
Sure. Joel Rubin, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, thanks for being here on Take 30.